So, I want to talk about the Epstein files. So, apparently, the DOJ and the FBI decided to release yesterday that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. They released a 10-hour video, which I thought, there was no video. I thought they said that there was no video evidence of anything. The guards were sleeping right when he did that, and there was no proof, video evidence. And they also said that there's no list yesterday, which is it's pretty weird. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like they released this on a Sunday, and I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. Part of me thinking like elites are getting away with whatever they want, because it's quite obvious that he had prominent figures on his island, and there's probably proof, I would think, of, we got Prince Andrew, we got one name, of big individuals. Even if it's Trump on there, I want to know who's all on there. Who was engaging in debaucherous behavior with minors? We want to know this. You had Carolyn Levitt today saying we're not going to release child images or pornographic images of children, which nobody's asking for. Nobody wants to see that shit. All we want to know is, do you have proof of big name people who we all know and probably support, that they were doing this they were engaged in this heinous behavior? We want to know. If you have proof of it, like I said, we don't want to see it. We just want to know who was engaging in this crap. So, we know who to not support, who to get our pitchforks ready for, figuratively speaking. But yeah, I want to know if there's somebody that I support that hasn't. There's always been rumors. I mean, they had Trump on the flight logs, and there was no proof that he was there. It was like he was friends with him a little bit, and I always had the perception that once he figured out what was going on, he disassociated with them. I mean, just because you're associated with somebody, you don't know all the underbelly of what they're doing. You could be best friends with somebody and they could be a serial killer and you wouldn't even know. So when you find out something like that, you could even be married. Like the Green River Killer, the woman was married to that guy while he was doing that. Just because somebody's associated at that time doesn't mean they're participating or supporting what they were doing. They didn't know, because you're hiding that type of crap. So that's where I've always had that type of mindset. Like, Trump just didn't know. So, but if he was engaging in that, I want to know, and I want to call him out, like anybody else, because I don't condone that type of behavior. But it seems really suspicious, because what they could have done, when the Attorney General Pam Bondi first came out, she says they're basically, they have a big, unless she was ignorant to what she had on her desk, and she misspoke. But what it sounds like is she lied. That's what it sounds like to us, to the public. That she says it made it sound like that there's a list and all that stuff's about to be released. Um, just give us the names of the freaking prominent figures who's on the list. Everyone who went there, we just want to know who went there, who engaged in that type of crap. We want to know, and it's not that really that difficult. So since apparently Epstein was, I think he was let off, but what was he in jail for? Like if nothing was happening, like why was he in jail? Was it just him participating? Was it just Maxwell participating? There's nobody else, like nobody else is being held accountable, and that's the problem. And what it makes me wonder is like, is this like 5D chess? Are they just putting this out there to mess with people, mess with the elites before they drop the hammer, so they can, make people feel like they that can be happening, or like completely sold out? Like there's literal corruption going on where you had Dan Bongino and Cash Patel advocating for some type of list reveal, or and they're part of the government, and they immediately say that he killed himself, which was highly unlikely. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying, like, wow, that's a big feat for him to be able to do that. Kind of weird how when he gets taken off a suicide watch, like I think the next day he allegedly ended himself. So the whole thing is highly suspicious, and it makes you wonder, like, what is really going on? Like, why are we always in the dark for everything? And what it seems, the perception is, if you have enough money, enough power, you can just get away with whatever you want. And the rest of us have to obey the laws. And there's no, this isn't a society that can continue for very long until people start rising up. If people who view themselves as gods because of their status or power feel like they can do whatever they want, and we don't, and we're not, they're not held to the same standard as us, people will rise up, people will act out, and like, hey, listen, man, like, what I see right now is MAGA extremely fractured. I've seen it, I seen it a little bit with the Joe Rogan thing, when you have prominent figures hating on Joe Rogan when he didn't say he supported anybody. He didn't, and like they were like bashing him. And I thought that was so stupid to do that. It's not like he was out here advocating for Kamala. And I had Cat Turner, I attacked him for it, and basically he responded to me with my spelling correction. That's all he could do. And then he blocked me, and then I had a bunch of his cult members attacking me. Then they blocked me. And at that point, I decided we need to try to get along, and like, I thought that Trump was the best choice. I thought, like, he's gonna put good people in there who are going to, they might not be the most qualified people, but they're going to go in there and throw a wrench a monkey wrench in the establishment, and there will be some significant changes. And will it be messy? Yes. Will it be chaotic? Yes. Just like hypothetically, if I ever got elected to Congress, my whole objective would be to go in there and cause as much political chaos as I possibly can. Not necessarily to make a name for myself, because if I was to ever be on that level, I would already have somewhat of a name for myself. But it would just to be like to mock what's happening, to call out, to criticize, you know, as much as I possibly could. Use my 5 minutes to just totally, you know, make a mockery of everything, because that's all it really is to me at this point. Is government is, well, we have worked for a long time, but it's just not working anymore. You know, I've seen a lot of corruption with the Biden administration, how they weaponize different branches of government when it comes to the Department of Homeland Security, labeled me as a terrorist because I was a Trump supporter. I still support Trump. My thing is right now is like, I want to see what happens. But Trump is president, so chances are unless something happens, unless he passes away, he's gonna finish his presidency for the next 3 years. So like, he's not gonna run again. He can if there's certain laws that are changed, so that could happen, which is highly doubtful. Basically, like, I think that we would need a whole Republican red wave to change some laws. But I don't want him in for a third term. You know, I don't like his age anyway. Like, the big thing is why I wanted him in there is because I liked a lot of his policies. I don't like his age at all. I really don't like his age. But like, he was very pragmatic. You know, he started like changing how he thought on certain things. He was anti-crypto, and now he's pro-crypto. You know what I mean? So I seem like, okay, you're not just some boomer that's stuck in their ways, or with the perception at that time was like, he's not bought off, and that's basically, you get your donations from corporations or PACs or whatever, and then you have to owe them favors. And I always felt like, since he first came out funding his own campaign primarily, that was a huge thing, something completely different. And you know, but you know, with the attacks on Iran, the bombings, which I was against at that time, turns out it was a beautiful move. As for, you know, right now, you know, I thought it was highly risky. I thought that you could see other countries jumping in, and then now we're entrenched in another 20-year war, like 5 to 10 year war, like Iraq. Like, we're just entrenched in the Middle East, and I think that we need to get the hell out of there and just let Israel by itself. It's not our problem. But you know, this decision they decided to make, which, if it was me, I just wouldn't have said anything. I would just, you know, pretty much just ignore it. I would have, you know, I wouldn't have said anything. I wouldn't have said like, yeah, he did kill himself, or I wouldn't have put out anything. Not to say that people would forget about it completely. I mean, people would still bring it up, but like, right now, you have so many people on both sides completely like criticizing the MAGA administration, and they should be held accountable. This is the difference between MAGA and the Democrats. What I call MAGA is the Republicans. Republicans are on their way out. MAGA is the new thing. But, you know, there's not, you know, you got your cult, like the cat turd cult, that are sit here die hard Trump. He can't do nothing wrong. Administration is always right. You can't criticize, just like the left. But you do have a lot of people like me, you know, like Elon or whoever else, that is gonna hold them accountable. And the left, they're all like, oh, I feel so glad that, like, it's so cool to see them eating themselves. It's like, we actually don't have the same beliefs, you know, we have some core beliefs, you know, but like, we call each other out and we have our own opinions, and you know, this is why I think that you're gonna see people on the left. I think the Democrats are gonna be abandoned. I think the Republicans are gonna be abandoned, and you're gonna see two different groups, but they're both gonna be moderates, and I think that's a good thing, because you need one side to hold the other accountable. You need checks and balances for sure. But it doesn't seem like we've been getting checks and balances. It seems like we've been seeing the elite do whatever they want. We see Congress members care more about becoming social media influencers and famous than they actually, you know, they care more about their country. We see politicians getting absolutely wealthy from insider trading, and that's okay. That's not a big deal, I guess, on both sides. And essentially, the Republicans and Democrats, whether it's just a regular Democrat and, you know, the random Republican, they're basically on the same team. And that's why Elon wants to create that third party. Do I know if it's gonna work? I don't know. Do I think it has the best chance of working compared to anything that we've seen so far? Yes. And I think the Libertarian Party is probably like the biggest one. But I think like there's this group of people like that I'm included in, that I've never registered as a Republican. I never registered as a Democrat. I don't label myself as anything, and I just go for whoever I think supports my beliefs for the time being. It used to be the Democrats when it comes to like anti-war and pro-free speech, and then it ended up becoming MAGA. And this is why I say, just because MAGA is the thing and it looks shiny and like they're talking about the things I like, it doesn't mean that it can't be corrupt. So I've said this in past videos. I might turn against MAGA in the future. When I said this, I was wearing Trump paraphernalia at work and supporting Trump, and I said, like, it could end up being corrupt, you know? It seems like, and I thought that, like, and I don't know, I'm gonna see how this plays out, because I think there's a lot that we don't know that's going on behind the scenes, like the Iran strikes. We didn't know that there was some type of agreement with Netanyahu and stuff like that, where then he would do a ceasefire. That wasn't shown to us. There's a lot of stuff that's going on with Trump that he's a smart businessman, but he's not gonna play, like, he's a great poker player. He's not gonna show you his hand. So like, there could be stuff going on that we don't see happening, that they want us to see this and we're focusing on this, when they are going and like really causing havoc to try to get people off the trail. So like, get them off their backs. Not just us, but like the people that they're going after, the elites. to make them feel comfortable, to make them feel safe, to make them feel like things are okay, and to try to get that trust. You know, we don't know what's going on. There's stuff going on that they haven't told us. You know, it's kind of like the UFOs and stuff like that, or suppressed technology. Our government definitely has stuff they're not going to tell us everything about. They're not going to be completely transparent, no matter who's in there. Even if I'm in there, I can't be completely transparent with every single thing, because there's top secret things. There's stuff that, like, if I was in the government and I had knowledge about, you know, some type of operation that we're doing to save American hostages, for example, and I leaked like what we're going to do, the plan, so like the people that are holding the hostages can see those plans, and so can the whole world, and so they can prepare for, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's stuff in the works that you can't let everybody know what the hell is going on. Because I'm all for transparency, obviously. Like, if you watch my channel, I'm very transparent. But yeah, I'm upset about the Epstein client list not being released. Maybe there isn't one. Maybe all that stuff was destroyed. I don't know. I don't see how they can destroy that stuff and then, like, with hard evidence that has been, like, shown in court, you know, like, or whatever. I'm not a lawyer. I don't really find court very interesting. I find it boring. This is why I never paid attention to any of the Trump trials or nothing like that. I'm just trying to listen to smart people and take, like, I just don't really, I think it's fucking boring. I think that Congress is boring. I think you know, politics is boring. The reason why I focus on it, I think money's boring. I think, like, finance is boring. The reason that I have focused on it, and the reason why I talk about it, is because I think at this stage of humanity, or this stage of time, it's very important to talk about it, to learn about it. I used to sit here and, you know, spend all my time researching stats and being entertained by football or basketball, which, you know, sometimes a little bit I still do. You know, like right now I'm trying to get to know WNBA players and see what's out there. I think that's going to be pushed pretty hardcore. I think the WNBA might start. This is off topic, but I think the WNBA might start, like, trying to market themselves more. The women will try to be a little bit more attractive, less masculine, trying to put forth more femininity. Like, you know, some of them are pretty skilled, but they can still put out a little bit of femininity, not looking like, because if I'm gonna watch basketball and it looks like a bunch of dudes playing basketball, like, I'm gonna watch the NBA. So if I was gonna watch the WNBA, I need it to be a little bit more physically appealing to my eyes as a man. So I'm not really interested in watching some women that look like guys running up and down the court missing layups and can't dunk a ball. Like, if I wanted to see guys play basketball, I'll watch the NBA and I'll watch them dunk, you know, jump out of the roof, like, be really, really good with their handles, like really, really highly skilled individuals compared to the women, you know what I mean? But if they want my attention, you got to make it more like college volleyball or college softball, something like that, where, like, you know, I'm sorry to say, like, if you want to sell, sex sells. That's just how it is. I don't want to see the women dressed in like, baggy shorts, or like I said, if I want to see that some guys, I'll watch the NBA, not the dummy. This is why they've struggled for so long. Interesting. Caitlin Clark is the face, and she's extremely mid. Like her face is like a 4, if that. It's like a 4, because she still looks a little masculine in the face. But if she was to like, not necessarily put makeup or nothing like that, but like put a little accessory. That's what I'm saying. Like a little, like the accessories. I know this is like, I talk about whatever I want, whatever comes to my mind. I don't script any of this. I might label. Anybody that watches my stuff understands I might label something, and that's just because I have to label it. But I might even talk about it for 10 seconds and then just talk about whatever I want to talk about. But yeah, the whole Epstein thing is just, I wanna wait and see what happens. It's like this economy or the future when it comes to technology. Like right now, I feel like I'm in a pretty good position. I'm trying to basically hunker down and see what happens in the next couple of years. See what the Trump administration does. See if, like, yes, they just added a bunch to our national debt, but how are they going to leverage that? Maybe they leverage it in a good way. Maybe we get Bitcoin, and every other country starts getting it too, and we all try to get off our fiat systems, because they're all going to fail at some point. It's unsustainable. There's no way there's no overcoming this. So we need different systems, different ways that we can transact besides the fiat, because it is gonna, at some point, I don't know when, we're gonna default on our national debt, or we're gonna hyperinflate the currency. Either one. When future liabilities come to fruition, when you have less people working, so less tax revenue, and I want to see the innovation of AI. And I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to have a UBI. That's some of the, like, I don't know. Like, how are we going to transition? If we have a bunch of people that have a lot of power, how are they going to implement that power? Is it going to be like the globalists, like we're limit our speech and censor us, or is it going to be more of a independent free-for-all? There's like consequences to what you say, so like you should be able to say what you want, but there's obviously consequences. But like, I want to get to being more fun. A lot of people, ever since 2020 happened, a lot of people, I just don't feel like they have the fun in them anymore, and this is me included. We're not inspired. And I'm wondering if we're all like dopamine now. I wonder if we're all dopamine addicts. So we have to constantly get our dopamine fix. So I wonder if that has hindered our happiness at all. This is what I'm saying. Like, I'm just gonna, I question things. It's probably bad for us to every single second constantly be entertained, and I think that there's a lot of people living on autopilot. they're living in their subconscious mind. And I do this, but I come in and out of it. I think more so than what the average person is nowadays. People are just completely consumed with their devices. And I'm on it a lot too. I'm not gonna lie. And you know what? I use it as a crutch. Like sometimes I just don't want to talk to people. But that's me. I've always been like that. So, you know what I was thinking too? I was thinking like, for instance, this happened to me the other day where, this is what I was talking about in that video of I hate people. This happens to me all the time in a scenario. And I'm wondering if I think I could actually feel more comfortable talking into a group of 10,000 people and I'm talking, other than just like I'm in a room with like 5 people that I'm not really cool with. You know, I'm not like, I'm just like, they're kind of strangers. So like what happens with me a lot is somebody will ask me something, right? And then I start talking and then somebody else interjects right away. And that person that asked me the question or whatever I'm about to like talk, they automatically divert their attention to them. And then in turn, it's like I feel disrespected. Like when somebody's talking first, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. And if somebody interrupts, I try to consciously ignore them. Like I'll give them a little like, but I'm trying to focus my attention on the person that, you know, I put the attention on. But what happens to me is like, that happens to me a lot where somebody put the attention on me, which I don't really demand attention in person that often. In fact, I feel like I make people uncomfortable. People probably have looked at me like I could be a mass shooter because I'm so quiet. If I don't feel like I have something clever to say, I'm not just gonna say something random like, this wall's white, or just like whatever like random thing like, I am now typing on my keyboard and I'm now adjusting. Like I'm not gonna state the obvious. Like if I don't have sometimes I come up with something clever. If I don't have something clever to say or make the conversation interesting, then I'm not gonna really partake in it. I'm just gonna let everyone else do their thing. But it's funny when like the conversation drops in like that type of environment of like 5 people. And then like they look at me, and it's like I'm not gonna be like holding this conversation up. Like no, I'm good. And that happens to me a lot. Like seriously, like if you could take anything from besides everything else that I was saying, like when you're dealing with social interactions with people, try to be conscious if you put the attention on them, okay, about asking them something about themselves, like how are you today? And some idiot wants attention. Try to not to give them the attention, even if they're like more respected, even if like you have a better relationship with them. Try to give that person, because you put forth that you put the spotlight on them, and for you to just like somebody to disrespect not only you but the person that asked you asked that, and then all of a sudden they command all the attention, and then that person that's starting to talk, you just kind of completely ignore them. Because it was funny, like I noticed, like I'm so good at reading body language. The guy that talked to me asked me a question, and he immediately, like when that other person started talking, he immediately shifted his whole body facing towards him. So like when I was talking, I was completely cut off. And it's just like, okay. And then, you know what I did? I shut down. And in fact, when that happens, I leave. Like, I don't want to be a part, I don't want to talk no more. Because I think that's like a microaggression. I think that's highly disrespectful. Like, I don't talk that much anyway. Like, especially if it's somebody that doesn't talk that much, and I'm just saying, like, and you do that, don't expect that person to really want to engage in conversation with you or any type of like social scenario if that's how they're going to be treated. If they're already kind of like, if nobody's not really that interested, and like for me, like if no one's really interested in like what I have to say, or even the fact that I'm even really there, don't be surprised when I'm just gonna be silent. I don't have enough to fucking say. I'm just gathering intelligence on everybody. I'm just, you know, if I get attacked, I go right, right for the jugular, metaphorically, not physically, but like socially. I pick people apart. I look at their weaknesses. I look at their strengths, and if I feel like I need to attack, I will. And I am pretty brutal too. I can be extremely, extremely brutal. However, I try not to. It's mostly the people that I feel like deserve it, not people who are like. I don't. The people who are weak, I try not to, go too hard on. It's kind of like my ex-fiance, right? When she punched me multiple different times in the face, I didn't strike her back. Even because I knew, like, yeah, she got me good, but I didn't get knocked out. And if I wanted to, I would have killed her. Like, and she was weaker than me. Now, if it was somebody like some big brawny woman that's trying to like perceive herself as like a masculine, like trying and like, hey, I gotta hold my own. Like I'll have to hold my own with this one. Like I'm gonna treat it like I was gonna if some like dude my size was to do that. Like if some kid was to, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna go, oh, I'm not gonna go ham. You know what I mean? Like if they're weak, and that's what I'm trying to say socially. So like if I feel like somebody's weaker, I'm not gonna like, I think that's weak on my part to sit here and prey on the weak. I usually do punch up. Which that's usually on social media, but in person, I try to like, in person, I try to try to be civil as much as possible, because I know it's direct conflict. It can happen like instantaneously. I really don't like physical conflict. I might say some like outlandish things on the internet, but possibly somebody can want to partake in violence against me. That's always a possibility. More unlikely than like letting something escalate in person with somebody. Anyway, yeah, that's basically like the premise of the video I was talking about a couple of videos ago of why I hate people. Is what I talked about in that video, but also like the different social interactions I deal with people in real life. And like I'm not alpha, I'm not beta, I'm something in between. Like I'm my own man, I'm my own person, man. Like seriously, I'm my own person, and it really just depends on my energy, my enthusiasm. Some days I'll just don't want to talk to nobody. Some days I'll feel really good, which is less days than like feeling good is not really a big thing in my life. I'm not used to that. I'm used to like problems, struggle, constant bullshit. And it's not even like my arm got chopped off, or like heaven forbid like one of my kids passes away. Like I can't imagine your child. I was always worried about that, as my child when they're passing away, especially when they're young. They're so innocent. They have so much, but I'm not to say like my kids passed away right now. It would highly affect me, but I think it would be even worse if they were, small, like not necessarily like newborn. I think that would definitely affect you. But when you start to like when you get into like the you're developing a relationship with them, 2, 3, 4, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, as soon as they're born, you obviously, like, if you lose a newborn, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, when they get to be, when they're, it's just like, you don't want to see, there's a reason why they don't show kids getting hurt in movies. Nobody wants to see little kids hurt. Nobody wants to see like little kids mangled or something tragic that happened. And that's like the worst thing. Like an adult is kind of like, that's horrible as hell, but like it's on a different level if it's a child. Like nobody wants to see kids hurt. Anybody who advocates for kids being hurt is like the lowest of the low. Or laughs or mock, like you're a special piece of shit. But yeah, like basically, like that was like, this is what I was talking about. How I always feel disrespected in real life, no matter whatever the scenario is, no matter what it is. It's almost like I either take that or I exert myself and start speaking louder than everybody. But that's not me. I don't feel like I have to, like, I need to be center of attention. I prefer not to be center of attention in person. I prefer, unless it's like a one-on-one or something like that. But like when you're in a small group of people, I'm fine just kind of sitting back and, listening, watching, not really having to partake, not having to hold the burden of keeping the conversation going. So like, but yeah, like it's kind of like people wonder, hey, why are you so quiet? Why don't you talk? Well, because every single time I do talk, especially when I go off on a tangent, man, and I've had this happen before, where it's almost like a TV show. I'm sitting there like I got somebody's attention. It could just be one-on-one, and I'm really going over it, and I'm like spitting facts, boom, 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 and then all of a sudden somebody comes in at that right time. Like it could happen any other time. It happened to have a problem has to happen one, and then it just totally just derails everything that I was talking about. It seems like it's manufactured, like it's orchestrated, like when I was getting annoyed about cars in my past videos, when I'm walking and then all of a sudden there's no cars, and all of a sudden like when I get to the intersection there's like always a car. It just seems like it's orchestrated in some type of way, like the shit's all fucking fake. This shit's all like, it's like the fucking Truman Show. You know what I mean? It's just, there's no cars, the dude pulls out to go to work, and then all of a sudden all these cars just come there. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. I'm open to the possibility of this being some type of entertainment for some other type of species that we don't see, that they get their, whether that's God or whatever. If you play The Sims, you can take control of different Sims and cause different things. And do we all have free will? Do we all, like, is there God or creators that we don't see? Is it aliens that can like take control of people? And it just some things just it just doesn't feel organic. Like something like it's just kind of like why these that's too weird. That's just too weird for that to be a coincidence. Like it's like I'm intentionally being put on a low vibration, whether it's like me being sad, me being angry. Um, Nothing that will cut me off at the knees that'll destroy my life. It's like I need to be on a low vibration and these low emotions, anger, resentment, which I don't hold too much resentment, but I'm human. So I try to get rid of that, but like it makes me wonder, like maybe David Icke is right with the reptiles. Maybe they are. They want me to keep. Maybe they get off. Maybe they get fuel from my negative emotions. That they don't want me to be completely destroyed, because then if I don't exist, then they don't get the fuel. But they have to like keep it at a certain level. One thing to keep me going, you know what I mean? Like you gotta do what it takes to keep my emotions low, but it's not enough to destroy my life where I don't exist no more. Or it's enough for me to just want to go ahead and just make it so I don't exist no more. It's enough. It's like it almost feels like kind of like a cow raising like a plant. Let's just say hypothetically, like I'm a plant that it doesn't have seasons, it just keeps on like producing fruit. Like it wants me to keep producing fruit and keep moving forward, but I don't die. However, I do sleep. So this is weird. I know it's weird. I'm just open-minded, and I don't. Maybe this is it's just weird that like my whole life I haven't had a lot of joy implemented, and I would think that like at some point like God would be like, the Christian God would be like, hey, listen, man, let's see what it's like if I put this person in their life, and it's like instead of like it's always like I have to go up the hill. Like I feel like I'm that king, which I'm not a king, but like I don't view myself as a king, but that king that I forgot how to say his name. It starts with a Z. Zephyr, I don't know, but anyway, he went to hell, and he's supposed to be in hell for eternity, and has to push a rock up the hill, and then as soon as he gets to the top, it falls down, and he has to keep doing this. That's what it feels like, where it's just like I see other people, and whether maybe they're just phony, but it seems like their life is just like uneasy, where it's like I'm constantly, even when I overcome this bullshit, I have some more. It's just like, what do I have to expect? More bullshit. So I wonder why I'm fucking negative. It's because like it's constant. Like I'm not used to positive shit happening. The only positive shit that happens is me creating it, and I'm constantly like, what it feels like in this life for me, my whole life is, I feel like I'm in the ocean without a life jacket, and I'm trying to stay afloat for positivity, because I'm generally, I feel like a positive person. I'm so positive that I have too much hope, and then I'm let down. I think too optimistically. So then I go the other way as a defense mechanism, where I start thinking completely horrible, since like I'm used to like not a lot of good shit happening, which a lot of stuff good has happened, and I appreciate it. But for me, it seems like the amount of effort and energy I've put into trying to push to make my life positive. If other people would have done that, they would be completely different level than me, and I kind of just have felt stuck at the same level, and it feels like a communist type of life where it doesn't matter if I work 2-3 jobs and get all this money for myself and save for myself, something will happen and it'll take that. Like, I'm just stuck at the same spot and I can't get the hell out. Just like this channel. Look at how many subscribers I have. If you have followed my channel at all, especially like my biggest video, you can go back and look at it, it's a short, and it has like maybe 800,000, 400,000 views, something like that, almost 500,000 views, and this is where I got 1,000 subscribers, because I was stuck at like 300 for like years. Well, I've been stuck at like 15.7, what, 1.5, not 15.7, 1.57 for like a good 2 years, 3 years now. It hasn't went up. I've still been making content, but I haven't gotten anywhere. Now look at my Twitter. Is it slowly going up? Yes, because I'm using it. I'm getting put more in the algorithm. But, you know, is 13.5 followers that big of a shot from 12,900 followers? Like, and then there's probably buzz. One more thing too that I wanted to talk about is maybe the dead internet theory is true. Maybe most of the interactions we get are from bots. And I think that, like, you have real people on here, but like if you're a woman and you get a lot of views or whatever, I'm wondering if like a lot of that's just bots. And it is a big thing, you know. I don't have no problem interacting with bots. You know, when I'm on Twitter, I don't know if somebody I'm like about to post on is, oh crap, I have to get rid of it. I don't know if it's a person running somebody else's company, or if it's a real person. So like, I have to cut this video off. Take it easy.